Hey guys, welcome back to Life with Mrs. B and welcome to another sit down video. Today you will see from the title we are talking about how and why I joined the Mormon church. Mormon. If you want to know more, then stay tuned, this is the video for you. If you don't want to know more, then sorry. So today I'm rocking my own naturally curly hair. This is what my hair looks like if I do not blow dry it or straighten it. It's a bit wild. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I'm like, oof, look at all that hair, you got too much hair, girl. But today this is what we're rocking with. I also have a little bit of a scratchy voice today, so sorry, but I did want to film this. I asked for some video ideas over on Instagram. You should follow me. I got loads of good ideas that I'm definitely going to do in the future, but I didn't know which one to do and I prayed about it. I said, you know, God, what video should I film tomorrow? What should I do? And boom, this video popped in at my head. So I should start off by saying we don't actually call ourselves Mormons. The reason we're called Mormon is because we believe in the Old Testament, the New Testament, and another testament called the Book of Mormon. We do not worship anyone called Mormon. The book was compiled by a man called Mormon, which is why it's called the Book of Mormon. And it's lots of different stories and books from different people, just like in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Actual proper name for me would be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is a big old name. So you might have heard us referred to as Mormons, LDS, Church of Jesus Christ, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, those weirdos. There's a lot of preconceptions and misconceptions about us and people that are in my church, and I'm not really going to share too much about that today. I'm just going to talk about how I joined the church. If you would be interested in kind of like a busting Mormon myth type video, let me know when I can do that in the future. But let me get on and tell you a little bit about how I joined the church. So rewind, back in the day when I grew up in a Catholic family. We were not practicing Catholics at all, like at all. The only time we really went to chapel was for communions, baptisms and confirmations, and that was about it. I went to Catholic school and yeah, that was about it. I always grew up believing in God. I have always known that God was real, always, never had any doubt in my mind at all. One day I was at home, I think I was about 17, I still lived at home at the time, and there was a knock on my door and I went and answered it, and there was two elders standing at my door. You might be like, what, two old guys, Paula? No, I don't mean old guys. We refer to missionaries in our church as either elders for dudes, sisters for the ladies. And yeah, there was two elders. You've probably seen missionaries about. If they're guys, they're normally in groups of like 2 or 3 that wear like shirts, ties, black name badge, might wear a suit. Ladies, they'll also be in groups of 2 or 3 and they might wear a nice dress or trousers, and again they'll have a black name badge, probably a backpack on with all their stuff in it, and their job is to share the gospel, to share all about Jesus Christ and his church with people who want to hear about it. They do not get paid for being a missionary at all. They have to pay for it all themselves. They pay for their own food, they pay for their own housing, and they normally serve ladies 18 months, guys 2 years or 24 months. And yeah, so they do it all off their own back. They, like, I don't want to say lose 2 years of their life, because they're not losing it, they are sharing stuff. And I know a lot of missionaries and they said that they've gained so much from being a missionary, so they didn't lose it, but you know, they give up 2 years of their life to go and do this. So anyway, yeah, there was 2 missionaries and they were like, hey, can we share a message with the Church of Jesus Christ with you? And I was like, I love Jesus, come on in. And I listened to what they had to say and I thought, this sounds great. And when my mum and dad came home that day, and I told them, you know, oh look, we had these people in today, blah blah blah, and my mum and dad were like, oh, you invited Mormons into our house, ah, that's terrible. And they didn't really like want me to meet with them again, and I respected that. I was at home, I was under their roof, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, it's not worth the fight. And that was it. I never, you know, like seen them, those missionaries again, and I never met with missionaries again for a long time. Oh, my legs are sore. For a long time after that. When me and Thomas got together, I was 18, like a month after my 18th birthday, and then that's it. Me and Thomas have been like together since then, and I'm going to be 31 soon, so that is a long time. And neither of us were particularly religious. He didn't go to church, I didn't go to church. After we got married in February 2015, so I had all my kids out of wedlock. in case you're wondering, we didn't get married Valentine's Day 2015, and after that, you know, I was like, should we go to church? And he said yes. We went to a church in Glasgow. It's a non-denominational Christian church. We stayed there for just over a year, and it just wasn't right. Knew there was something not right. Then we went to another church, and there was also something missing from that church. That's the best way to describe it. Something was missing. Something just didn't click. Like, I just felt there was something missing. All the churches we went to were non-denominational Christian. So like, they weren't Catholic or Protestant or Baptist or whatever it was, Seventh-day Adventist. They weren't any of these things. They were just non-denominational Christian. And the churches, they were all quite upbeat. They were all quite lively. The music, like the worship music, was like drums and guitars, and it was like being at a rock concert. It was pretty cool. I still like that music. Yeah, so it was like a lot of fun, but I still felt there's like a bit of hair in my face, and I can see it, and it's annoying me, and it's, oh no, there's a bit in my mouth. So much hair. But yeah, yeah, I always knew there was something. It's like a little short one. Look there, see? I'm not imagining it. You can't even see it. There we go. Pulled it out. Boom. Shall I edit that out? Hey ho, we'll see. But yeah, it just wasn't right. Then I spent most of 2017 researching the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I just felt like it was the church. I felt like it was a church I should go to, but it was very different, you know. Well, maybe you don't know. Maybe that's why you're watching this. But it was very different, and as I said, I spent about a year researching it. I watched General Conference without being a member of the church. If you're a member of the church, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, General Conference is a conference that's held twice a year, April and October, and like 17 million people watch it. It's amazing. It's on for a full weekend, and people from all over the world and all walks of life come and share things. We also have music. There's a choir, and like a really big choir. They're called the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. They are huge, and like there's a lot of them, a lot of people. And this past General Conference we actually had youth speaking as well, which was so cool. But anyway, I digress. But generally only people who are members of the church watch this. Anyone can watch it. You can find it on YouTube. And I watched it, like, researched the church. Like, I was really invested in this. I was really interested in it. And I told Thomas, and Thomas was like, that sounds so weird. Like, they sound like weirdos. Why would you want to be a Mormon? Like, and then in March, it was Mother's Day. I think Mother's Day's in March, isn't it? I think so. Mother's Day 2018, I went along to our local ward. So ward, if you're not familiar, so when I talk about the church, I mean like the church collectively, globally, as a whole. A ward is what we call like a meeting house where we meet on a Sunday. Some towns have one ward, some towns have two wards, some towns have no wards and you have to go to the next town. But yeah, so I went along to our local ward and I was late. That was awkward. I thought it started at 10:30. It started at 10. So I rocked up there about 10:20. It was the last car parking space, and I was like, wow, these people are really punctual. And I squeezed my car into the last space because I drive this big tank, and I went in, and then obviously I realised that it had already started, and I was like, I should just walk back out. I should just walk back out. I should just walk back out. I was kind of like in like a little kind of like foyer type area, and just when I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? Like, I'm stuck here. I just need to get back in my car and go home and come again next week. Just at that point, a guy came out. I went to the bathroom and I was like, now's my chance. I was like, excuse me. I says, has it already started? I says, I've never been here before. He's like, yeah, it started at 10. I was like, oh man. He's like, don't worry. He says, coming off, do you want me to find your seat? Come on. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he did, and he's like, here's a space. Come sit there. And I was so embarrassed because, you know, that way if you're late for something and it's like everybody's like head is towards the front, and then you open the door and it's like and everybody turned around and they're like, it was like that. I don't think people probably actually did look at me, but I just felt that way. And so like missed nearly like half of the first meeting, and to be honest, I was kind of like, this is so weird. Inside the chapel, most chapels look quite, I don't want to say old, because a lot of them aren't old, but it looks very classic. Like if you think of a church, this is what you would think of, like what it would look like inside. As I said, the churches I went to were so different, not just in the music choice, but the way they looked. Like we rented out a school, like a gym hall for one church that we went to, and that's just what we used because we didn't have a building. So yeah, it was different. I was used to like more modern things, I think you would say, and the worship music was like hymns, and again I was used to like rock band type music, worship music, so it was very different. And it all seemed very weird. And after that meeting was over, you go to like other classes. We have more than just like a 1 hour meeting. We have other classes for men, women, or some, well, how can I explain it? Some weeks we have men's classes and women's classes. Some weeks we're all together, so we alternate it. When it's on its own, it's called Priesthood and Relief Society. And then when we meet together, it's called Sunday School. And we just learn more about the gospel, learn more about God, how he wants us to live our lives, how we can live our lives. We support each other. It really is some great classes, by the way. Don't skip them if you go. But after that, I like went to the class, and I spent a lot of time with the missionaries, and they told me some things about the church, and I was like, okay. And then I went home, and Thomas was like, so what did you think? I was like, I'm never going back there. It's so weird. It's so weird. He was like, okay. I'm glad you got it out your system. And I was like, I'm never going to go back there again. And I didn't go back. Well, I mean, I did eventually, but I didn't go back. And we went to a church that again wasn't right. It was missing bits, but we went anyway because what was the other option? No church. So it was kind of difficult, but we went to church, and I didn't think about the church for a year. Well, I mean, I did think about it, but I didn't want to go back. And then one night, I had a dream. And in my dream, I was at my church I was a member of, like belonged to, and I was walking down the stairs outside, and then outside were two sister missionaries, and they were trying to talk to me, and I was like, excuse me, I already have a church, like, no thank you. And that was the end of my dream. And then the next day, I woke up and I was like, that was a weird dream. And then that morning there was a knock on my door, and I opened up my door, and who was there but two sister missionaries. Mind blown. Do you think that message came from God? That dream came from God? I don't know. And I was like, I was honestly blown away. I was like shocked. And this happens to me quite a lot. I have dreams that come true. So like, but I was still shocked. And I met with the missionaries, the sisters, and I spoke with them, and I learned more about the church. And I was like, this sounds like the church. They taught me all the things about the church, and one day I still hadn't actually been to church. I'd just been having these like lessons with the missionaries. I say lessons, it's not like school. They just share things that like, they share the gospel, and they share about Jesus Christ, and they share about the church and how their church is built up, like what it's made up of, if that makes sense. And yeah, I went along to the church, and I still again thought it was kind of weird. And I was like, oh, I don't know. But I kept taking the lessons with the missionaries, I kept praying about it, and I kept feeling like God was telling me, you belong here, you belong here. So one day I managed to convince Thomas to come with me, and he was like so dead set against it. He was like, nope, I'm not becoming a Mormon, I love my coffee, no, can't do it. And he came along, because I was like, you know, come see, if you don't like it, you can at least say you've been and it wasn't right for you. So he was like, okay. He was probably sick of me, and he's like, right, if I just go, she'll just be quiet. So we went one week, and after it he was like, Paula, this is the church, like, this is the Church of Jesus Christ. Why have we not been here before? It was quite funny actually. And then Thomas took lessons with the missionaries, and the two of us decided that we would become members of the church. And what that means is you would get baptized, and then fill out some paperwork to say you want to be a member of the church. And yeah, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. It's not like a gym membership or anything. You just do it, bing. my gosh, there's somebody shouting outside. Can you hear that? That was a bit weird. And yeah, we got baptized. You might be like, Paula, you've already been baptized. What are you talking about? You're right, I have already been baptized, but our church believes that only certain people actually have the authority to baptize you, so you must be baptized by certain people. So we were baptized, which is the picture that you see, and I'll put it up here again. So the person in the middle is a guy called Brendan, and he's become a great friend of ours, and then there's me and Thomas, and then either side is the female missionaries, the sister missionaries that were about at the time. And yeah, like, so that's been us ever since then. So we were baptized last July, which seems like so long ago, and we've been members of the church ever since. We go every Sunday, most Sundays unless I'm sick. What else do? We take part in the classes. The kids have kids activities, the youth have youth activities. Not so much now, like they're doing stuff on Zoom, but right now, I mean, if you're watching this in the future, this is right in the middle of the pandemic. I feel really welcome at this church. I feel like I'm a part of this church. I feel like I belong in this church. A lot of times I've felt in the churches we went to before that I didn't fit in. A lot of people at the last church we went to before this, people kind of, I got the feeling that they looked down on you a little bit if you didn't have a degree. If you weren't a doctor or a vet or whatever it was, I felt very much like we just didn't fit in. Whereas this church as a whole, it's made up of so many different people. There's rich people and poor people, there's single moms, there's white people, black people, Asian people, there's a whole like plethora of people. There's disabled people, there's kids with special needs, there's just everything. There's mums that work outside the home, there's mums that stay at home, there's mums that have like one kid, there's married couples that have no children. There's just such a huge variety. It's very diverse, and I really like that. I like that it's not, oh well, you need to be pretty rich and have a 4-year degree if you want to fit in at this church. I really appreciate that everyone is welcome, and it says that on the doors outside our church. It'll say all visitors welcome. All visitors are welcome. Like, they really are. Nobody's going to judge you if you wear the wrong thing, or if you look different, or whatever it is from the people that are there. Nobody's judging you, honestly. It's just been such a warm welcome. And even like a year later, you know, like, oh well, because I did think at first, so what if they're just like that because I'm like the new toy, you know, they're fighting over me, what if that's what it's like? But actually no, a year later people are still like so kind and helpful and loving, and you can just see Jesus like glowing out of them. That sounds a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? Maybe not. But yeah, that's pretty much our story of how I joined the church, why I joined the church. I heard once a missionary told me that if you imagine the church, the gospel, like a mirror, and it's broken, shattered into, you know, 100 pieces. He told me that each church that's on the earth has pieces of this mirror, and that's why when you're there, you're like, oh, but that's truth, what that person's teaching, you know, so how can this not be a true church? Because they don't necessarily have all the pieces of the broken mirror. So this church might have 10 people, 10 people, no, this church might have 10 pieces of this broken mirror, this church might have 50 pieces, this church might have 29 pieces, but no church has 100 pieces apart from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Ta-da! And I really felt that was true in the sense that all these churches that I did visit, I really did feel like something was missing, and that mirror analogy really struck home with me in the sense that I could feel it, I could understand it. I know that's true, and everyone has different beliefs. You got to do what works for you. This isn't a video to convert you to Mormonism. I just thought I would share it. You know, I had it placed on my heart by God. Share how you came to become a member of the church. Share it. And here I am, doing as was asked of me, sharing it. A couple of things about us: we don't drink tea or coffee, we don't smoke cigarettes, we don't drink alcohol. I didn't really do any of that before I joined the church, so it's not really an issue for me. We abstain from like addictive substances. What else do we do? I don't know. People think we're weird. We only have one wife. We only have one wife. The church disagrees fully and completely with polygamy. One wife only, please. What else? We agree. We believe in being chaste, not like chased by someone, but you know, no to premarital sex. What else? We believe in God. We believe, as I said earlier, in the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Book of Mormon. We believe that Jesus was God's son, is God's son. We believe that he came to earth and he died for our sins. We believe that we can start fresh, even if we mess up and we screw up pretty bad. We can start fresh. We believe in eternal families. That's families that can be together for forever. What else do we believe? There's a lot of things that we believe. I'll put some links to some cool stuff on the description box. I'll put links to talk to a missionary. Oh, I can hear one of my kids. Links to talk to a missionary. I'll put some links to our church. I'll put some links to some cool videos. You'll see some videos about what we believe. But I hope this video has been informative, educational. Even if you're not interested in the church, I think it's quite cool to learn about other religions. I watched a video the other day myself of like a Jewish synagogue, is that the word? A synagogue, and learned a bit about their religion, and I think it's so cool. It's very, very different from ours. Like, men and women weren't allowed to sit together, you weren't allowed to drive your car or take public transport on the Sabbath day. It's very different religion from ours. But yeah, I hope it's been informative. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Everyone's different. Everyone's got different opinions. Some people believe in other churches, some people don't believe in God at all, and you know what? I love y'all. I welcome y'all, and I'm so glad to have everybody here who is part of my subscriber family, and I don't judge on what you believe. So I hope you show me the same respect, yes. But anyway guys, I'm gonna go, and I will catch you in my next video. Any video ideas, let me know and I will try and use them. Bye guys.